It's crazy to think that just over 2 years ago, the Me Too movement happened. Harvey Weinstein's entire empire, his legacy, everything he's ever done, called into question and just systematically destroyed. Now, I'm not defending him. I'm not crying for him like he's Argentina. Screw this guy to the end of time. Horrible, vindictive, terribly manipulative monsters in Hollywood need to be called out and need to be basically drug into the spotlight, drug into the sunlight because it's the best disinfectant. When you look at a story like this, especially this particular headline, and you apply it to the reality of the situation, it really, really makes you question the absolute just moral sanity of this person and whether or not there is any there. I don't think there is. I think Harvey Weinstein has spent 2 years in exile and he wants back. I mean, obviously he wants back, but this is just terrible here. It says, Harvey Weinstein, people have forgotten what I did for women in the movie business. No, no one forgot what you did for women, and no one forgot what you did to that ficus plant. That innocent ficus plant. Saying here that the disgraced movie mogul complains, says his work has been eviscerated since he was accused of sexual assault. Oh, poor Harvey Weinstein. Look at him. Oh, I've got this walker that we know he doesn't really need to use anymore. Saying here, Harvey Weinstein has described himself as a forgotten man and said no one remembers what he did for female filmmakers. Whatever that might be, it kind of pales in comparison to what you did to female filmmakers and what you did to actresses. You slimy rat bastard. The disgraced movie producer, due to go on trial next month, says his work has been forgotten since he was accused of rape and sexual assault. But a group of his accusers hit back, saying that he's trying to gaslight society and will be remembered as an unrepentant abuser. Well, yeah. I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear. He's trying the Bill Cosby approach. He is trying to look frail and old and weak. And I didn't do anything. I don't own up to anything that I've done. It's all just not true. That ficus, she was asking for it. That's what happened on that one, right? We had a couple drinks and she really wanted me to water her roots. Oh my God. Look at this guy here. Look at this guy. Anything for sympathy, right? Now, I love how they have this is Sky News, by the way, has a gaslighting description here. Gaslighting is when someone is made to question their own memory, perception, and sanity. Well, yeah, and it's not always, I mean, people do have terrible memories. I think that is something to consider here. But no, in this particular case, you can't really, I think the tragedy aspect of it is not going to be forgotten. In an interview with the New York Post, Weinstein said, "I feel like the forgotten man." Saying here, "I made more movies directed by women and about women than any filmmaker." That's true, you did. I remember Frida, the one with Salma Hayek, and you had wanted there to be more nudity and more sex in the movie. And you told her that, and you told her that was how she was going to be able to make the movie because that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted. You wanted her to do it. You wanted to make sure that the sex, the lesbian stuff is what you got off to. And he says here, and I'm talking about 30 years ago. I'm not talking about now when it's Vogue. I did it first. I pioneered it. Oh, God. Why would you say that out loud? Why would you even remotely say that out loud? Under what circumstance? Under what reality would you ever want to make that comment out there? Well, I'm not going to, I mean, like now it's all Vogue. I guess if I'm being fair, and I shouldn't be fair to someone like Harvey Weinstein, but it's just my intrinsic nature. He's not entirely wrong on the sentiment of it being in vogue to talk about it now, because it is. A movie like Charlie's Angels comes out, it bombs, Elizabeth Banks blames sexism. This happens constantly in Hollywood. We know this. If you follow the trades, you see it all the time. So he's right in that regard, but it doesn't take away from what he's accused of doing. It doesn't take away any of that. And him not even acknowledging it. I believe there was a $25 million settlement that he has to basically say that there was no wrongdoing. right? Or they have to say that they can't, like he's basically getting away off a lot of it because he's basically paying for it to go away. There's crazy ass Rose McGowan saying here, it's all got eviscerated because of what happened. My work has been forgotten. No one's forgotten you. No one cared about your work to begin with. You were known as the it guy in Hollywood because people feared you. Not because they respected you, Harvey, because they feared you. There was a reason why Entourage would make fun of you constantly, why they parodied Harvey Weinstein through a character just named Harvey, and everyone knew who it was. Ask anyone who has ever been even ancillarily connected to Hollywood, and they know stories about Harvey Weinstein. This is not uncommon. But to sit here and say it's all been eviscerated because people forgot my work because of what happened. No. You don't get to ride that laurel to the end of time. 30 years ago, maybe. But a lot's happened in 30 years. And a lot that's changed your legacy and your memory till the end of time. He also said his company took social issues and tackled them. Speaking about his career, he says, I made a success out of myself. I had no money and I built quite an empire with Miramax and decided to give back. Yeah, again, you really gave back to that ficus plant. He was speaking at a New York hospital after undergoing what he described as a major operation on his back. He released a picture of himself sitting beside a walking frame to counter the accusations that he was overstating his ailment after being seen with the device outside of court last week. And again, this is where the Bill Cosby comparisons come into play. A lot of people are playing that up. Oh, Bill Cosby. He tried the same thing, and he's probably going to die in jail. I don't think Harvey Weinstein's going to go to jail, to be fair. I just don't. Now, it says the group of 23 women, including Rose McGowan, Ashley Judd, and Rosanna Arquette, said Harvey Weinstein is trying to gaslight society again. He says in a new interview he doesn't want to be forgotten. Well, he won't be. He will be remembered as a sexual predator and an unrepentant abuser who took everything and deserves nothing. He'll be remembered by the collective of countless women who stood up and said, enough, we refuse to let this predator rewrite his legacy of abuse. Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay. That's good. That's good. Because if you make mistakes, and I'm not trying to sit there and undermine anything that's been alleged here of Harvey Weinstein, it's best to own up to where you've made mistakes. If you don't, what are you doing? I know that ego plays a part in a lot of it. And apparently you figured 2 years on, Harvey Weinstein would have hit rock bottom and would have realized that his ego got him into a lot of this mess. And he's got to put that bitch out back and chain it up and make sure that it can't go anywhere and then acknowledge what's happened in order to move on. He ain't. Check this out. Last week, the Weinstein Company's creditors agreed to a $25 million settlement for more than 24 actresses and former employees who claim that Weinstein harassed them. In addition, his bail was increased from $1 million to $5 million following allegations that he violated bail conditions by mishandling his electronic ankle monitor. He, of course, has denied all accusations and allegations of non-consensual sex. But you look at a guy like this, and you apply it to Hollywood. And in his mind, he probably thought it was non-consensual, but there was a lot of coercion, a lot of intimidation, and that's not consensual. Sorry, that's not consensual. Harvey Weinstein is a person who will never truly understand the monumental impact of his actions. He will never understand or care about anything he has done unless it directly impacted him. And when faced with an interview, a time to perhaps come out and say, I've made mistakes, these are my faults, my demons. No. He goes back and says, well, 30 years ago, I was a champion of women. Well, to quote an old Hollywood saying, what have you done for me lately? Or something like that. What's your last movie like? I don't know. I think that could go anyway. I don't feel bad for Harvey Weinstein. I've watched cancel culture come after a lot of people. It came after me for good reason. It came after me. Good reason it's gone after other people. But the difference is acknowledging your mistakes and not doing it and moving forward. Someone like Harvey Weinstein's not even going as far as to acknowledge where he has gone wrong. To say that he's sorry, to not do it. It's woe is me. I've done all this before. I've done nothing wrong. I'm a good boy. I didn't do nothing. I don't know. It hasn't gone to court. I don't think it will go to court. I think they're going to settle out of court, and they're going to basically at that point acknowledge, legally speaking, that he didn't do anything wrong, because that's the way our legal system is designed. So at the end of the day, it's up to you to ask yourself where you view Harvey Weinstein. Do you think someone like him can ever come back? Because at the end of the day, that's what he is after. That's what he's looking to do. Once this whole thing is done, once the money is spent, the settlements are signed, the NDAs are inked, he'll go away for a while, maybe a year, maybe two. And in the meantime, in the process, he'll start trying to find young filmmakers, people who he could back, people who have potential. He's got an eye for it. That's true. And he'll use it as a way to get himself in the position of Roman Polanski, where he's still making content that is revered by the industry, despite the social stigma attached to his name. That's what he's going to do. I'm not going to lie when I say this, guys. I don't want that to happen. Not until he acknowledges where he's gone wrong, where he's made mistakes. But he won't, because his ego won't let him. And clearly, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I leave it to you. Your thoughts, your opinions, let me know down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.